saying goes, those who cannot learn from history are doomed to repeat it. More than a decade ago, then State Auditor Adam Edelin launched an investigation into Fayette County Public Schools. It came as the district tried to navigate a $20 million budget shortfall, and after their budget director wrote a letter accusing leaders of fraud and mismanagement.
This is something that's unique in Fayette County that we haven't seen in a whole lot of other places, is how public the allegations have been.
In 2014, FCPS's then budget director Jelaine Mullins sent a scathing letter to board members, the state auditor, and the Office of Education and Accountability.
I feel compelled to provide this information to the board to shed light on the facts surrounding the current budget crisis and suspected violations of law and numerous acts of mismanagement, fraud, waste, and abuse of authority that have resulted in the current state of affairs. Mullins even points fingers at Finance Director Rodney Jackson, saying he knew what was happening with the budget, allegedly submitting a late budget entry with inflated numbers, and she says she told the superintendent about that. Instead, he continued to spin as if there were no crisis, and with some of the expenditures being in violation of board policy as outlined below.
Then Superintendent Tom Shelton called Mullins' letter a misunderstanding, inviting the auditor to investigate, saying the district had nothing to hide. At the time, FCPS faced a $20 million budget shortfall. In response to Mullins' accusations, then and current Director of Finance Rodney Jackson told the board he'd clearly articulated and described their financial situation, adding there were no irregularities in the budget.
I want to reiterate, there is not $20 million missing, and there was never $20 million missing.
In September 2014, then Auditor Edelin announced his findings, among them poor financial management, weak policies, and failed communications. The audit claimed administrators making more than $100,000 received a nearly 25% pay raise over a 4-year period, while teachers received less than 10%. A trust fund left behind by a former FCPS teacher meant to support teachers' educational enhancement was instead used by the district's financial department.
When we have something that is available that ought to be used to benefit teachers, it needs to be communicated and marketed to them that that's available. $1,500 or $2,000 changes the academic year for a teacher when they can afford to buy materials that are lacking in the classroom.
Edelin's audit also mentioned questionable spending on work trips. In some cases, the audit found employees possibly misled the board about how many people were going to certain conferences. What it didn't find was any evidence of criminal activity. However, the findings led some to question then Superintendent Shelton's ability to lead. 3 board members pledged their support for Shelton, while 2 expressed concerns.
I'm very angry, and to be quite honest with you, if we elected, I would probably at this point not vote to renew his contract when he expires in June of 2015.
But Dr. Shelton is standing firm with the school system's slogan, "It's about kids," and wants focus back on what matters.
It has been a distraction that has kept us from being able to focus on what our true mission and purpose is, and the distraction has gone on too long.
The district was given 60 days to develop a corrective action plan in response to the audit's findings. Shelton shared plans to address issues including hiring outside consultants and restructuring the finance and budget divisions. The following week, the school board passed their working budget. In November, just 2 months after the audit's findings were released, Shelton made an announcement.
Shock seems to be the reaction that many people have after the announcement that Superintendent Tom Shelton has resigned. Now many people are questioning why he would do this in the middle of the school year.
Shelton shared he was moving on to a new opportunity, becoming the executive director of the Kentucky Association of School Superintendents. In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.